No more checks. Using WIC is easier than ever. WIC is a free nutrition program that helps working families stretch their food budget and make healthy choices. WIC helps families learn to shop for nutritious foods and provides recipes for healthy meals. There's even online nutrition education and an app to make shopping easier. WIC, good food, and a whole lot more. Call or visit us online to find out if you qualify.
On today's episode of The Good Food Project, Julie and Vaughn make corn muffins with berries, the vegan way. Then join Ann as she prepares a quick bean chili. That and more today on The Good Food Project. Stay tuned.
Hear my belly rumble, something more than bread. A nice big steak and fries to go. Listen to what I said. I need something more than soup to keep me satisfied.
All right, so this is the Good Food Project. We basically serve people in the Framingham, Waltham, and Marlborough area, and we help give nutrition advice, and we also do cooking classes. My name is Julie.
My name is Vaughn.
And we're making cornbread muffins today with blackberries, and then later on we're making a vegetarian chili. So let's get started on the muffins. So first what we did was we took some flaxseed and we ground it up. You can also buy flaxseed, it's called flaxseed meal, so it's already ground up into a powder. You add some water and it becomes kind of like an egg, because today we're doing dairy-free and egg-free. So it kind of becomes thick like an egg, so that's the first step. Then do you want to talk about the milk, what we did?
Yes, so we use the soy milk in here with apple cider. The reason Julie mixes first so it can chemistry happens and it will clump together.
Yeah, and it kind of curdles, and when it reacts with the baking soda, it helps make the muffins fluffy. So we mixed those together. And then, so first we're going to add this flaxseed mixture to the bowl. So we're basically mixing all the wet ingredients together first. That's what you typically do when you're baking. Okay, and then do you want to add the soy milk mixture?
So I'm going to add the soy milk together and mix it up.
And then next we have applesauce. You can use applesauce as a fat replacement in some recipes. So you'll notice we have very little oil. It's only 1/4 of a cup because we're using some applesauce. So I'm going to add the applesauce to that. Do you want to scrape some of that out?
Yes, I will.
And we're using the unsweetened applesauce because the apples naturally have sugar, so you don't need extra sugar. Okay.
Okay, so now it's all mixed.
Yep, and now we have some canola oil. It's just 1/4 of a cup. So of course this recipe is good if you're egg-free, dairy-free, or if you just don't have any eggs left and you have the flax seed on hand, you can use that. But it's also good for allergies, like I said before. So that's all mixed together. So the next step is, so we have the blackberries. We just chop them in half, and we're going to add some flour to them, and that just prevents the berries from sinking to the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to add them to this bowl.
How much flour do you add into the berries, Julie?
Just enough to coat them.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to add too much. I don't really measure it. You just kind of want to coat the berries and then toss them. All right. And this is good for kids too. So if like kids are helping you, get them to help mix the flour with the berries or stir that, like something like this.
Yes.
It's safe. Okay, so the next step is we're just going to add all the dry ingredients together. So I have the cornmeal in this bowl. So I'm going to add, we're using white flour first, half white flour, half whole wheat flour. It's just healthier. It has more fiber than the white. Okay. And then also to this mixture that she's mixing, we're going to add the sugar just to dissolve it.
And all the kids can help mom doing this too, right?
Yep, definitely. Okay. And then I have some baking soda. That's going to go with the dry. And I'll mix that together.
How long should I mix this?
It looks good just until it's all like mixed together and it looks like a solid mixture.
Okay, great.
So I'm just going to mix this, the dry ingredients right now. All right, so I'm just going to add it to her bowl. And Now she doesn't want to over mix it because if you mix it too much, it's going to kind of become like a bread.
Okay.
And it'll be way too stiff.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good just to mix it until it just comes together.
Okay. So just a little clumps that when you stop?
Yep.
Okay.
It also helps, if you want me to show you, if you fold
Okay,
it. So you
okay.
basically take the spoon and you kind of fold it over like this.
Okay.
And that kind of,
Not mixing, but folded.
yeah, it helps you not to overmix the batter.
Okay.
And we're also adding the berries, so we can do that at this point, just so we don't overmix it.
Okay.
So you can mix that
So
together.
now I can just fold it
Yep.
in. Okay.
Yeah, and folding is also good for berries, because if you're kind of like doing it really hard, it's going to just break them all apart.
Okay.
And you don't want it to look like that.
Yeah, because the berries is very easy to break.
Yep, definitely.
So does it look
Yep.
good now?
Yep, so it looks good.
Okay.
Now we're just going to take our little tablespoon measure and just measure out the batter. And we just have a mini muffin tin. It's good for kids because they're smaller. So we're just going to measure some of them out. Let's use that spoon. Thank you. Now we're using a non-stick tray. It is good to grease it before, but it really just depends what kind of tray you're using, or you can use little muffin liners. And you kind of just want to fill them, not all the way to the top, but that's pretty good. Just so they don't overflow.
Okay. About 3/4 of a
Yep.
muffin?
Yep.
Okay. I really like this recipe because it's only use just a little of oil and use applesauce for replacing the oil.
Yep.
And I think that's very healthy.
Yeah, it's a lot healthier. It's good just to have the applesauce on hand because you can do that with a lot of recipes. Do just half the amount of oil and then add half equal parts applesauce to whatever amount of oil you took out.
I can't wait to taste it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
So we just filled up the tray, but we actually made some muffins earlier. So we're just going to show you what the final product looks like. So they just look like this. All right, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoy it too.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Hi, my name's Ann. I'm the senior nutritionist at the Framingham Waltham WIC office. Julie just finished her cornmeal muffins with blackberries, so we're going to start the chili to go with it. So I've already prepped some of my ingredients, and I'm going to start off by sauteing my peppers and my onions. So I'm going to go to a medium heat. So to saute it, I'm going to put in a little bit of oil. And I put that in so it doesn't stick to the bottom. So I put the oil in the pan. I'm going to let that heat up, and I'm going to cut the rest of my pepper. So whenever you cut, you want to make sure you curl your hand in so you don't accidentally cut yourself. And I'm going to cut it into cubes because I want it to cook evenly. And there are a couple things you can do when you're making chili. If you like chili with a lot of texture, you can actually cut the vegetables larger. I've done a little bit of a medium cut, so they're tiny squares. But you can go anything from a large square to a smaller square. Or if you don't like a lot of texture in your chili, you can actually puree it as well. So to keep it uniform, I'm going to go with a nice medium cut. And my oil seems nice and hot, so I'm going to throw in my pepper. So the chili we're making today, it's actually a vegan recipe, so there's no meat or animal products in it. This is good for anyone who follows a vegan diet or anyone who has food allergies. Okay. So I'm going to mix in my pepper, and I'm going to throw my onion and my garlic in as well. If you're going to saute your vegetables for a long time, it's best to put your garlic in after you do your peppers and onions so they don't burn. So I'm going to stir it and I'm going to cook it until the peppers and onions are a nice soft texture. Okay. And you're going to saute it. It'll take about 3 minutes to get a nice soft texture. I like extra pepper, so I'm going to finish up the pepper and throw it in. So when you cut the garlic for a recipe like this, you want to mince the garlic. What that means is you're going to cut it into a very small piece. And I'll show you how to mince the garlic. First, you're going to take the skin off. So in order to not cut your finger, the best thing to do is use this kind of knife where you can put the tip of the knife down on the cutting board and just go up and down without lifting the tip of your knife off of the cutting board. So you can start with small slices, turn it the other way, and just start going at the garlic again. And just keep cutting up and down until you get small little pieces of garlic. You'll notice I'm holding the front of the knife. That helps me keep it down. And again, it's good to keep it down because you don't want to accidentally bring the knife up and hit one of your fingers. I'm holding the other side of the knife with my fingers on either side rather than gripping it like you normally do when I'm mincing the garlic. So our Good Food Project classes are offered Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday 4 to 4:30 and Friday 3 to 3:30. But we encourage everyone to come a half hour earlier before that. So Tuesday at 3:30 and Friday at 2:30 and learn about knife skills. You can teach your children how to be safe around the kitchen. Okay. So this recipe adds for 2 cloves of minced garlic. I put one in at the beginning and I'm going to put the second one in now. Again, you can put it in early or you can put it in at the end so it doesn't burn. And I'm going to stir my vegetables. They've been sauteing for about a minute now. So the next step is to put in some tomato paste and beans. One thing about the beans, since this is a quick chili, I've used canned beans and I'm going to rinse them. The reason why I rinse the beans is to rinse off some of the sodium. So I'm just going to put it right in the water and just rinse through the beans and let them dry out. Again, if you want to soak your beans and use your own beans, that's fine, but I like to use the canned beans for a quick chili recipe. So now that I've rinsed off all of the extra broth that comes in the can, I'm going to let them just sit for a second. And I'll keep stirring. Now this recipe calls for a little bit of water, but I don't usually use the water because it makes it a little bit too watery with all the tomato products. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add my tomato paste. The reason we use tomato paste is to thicken up the recipe. And this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. So here's my first tablespoon. Put it right into the mixture. And a second tablespoon. Okay. Now one thing I like about chili is you can kind of make chili for anyone's taste. For me, I like a spicy chili, but since I'll be cooking it for multiple people, I'll keep it more on the mild side. So I'm going to mix in my tomato paste and then I'm going to go for my spices. I'm going to use cumin and I'm going to use chili powder. And again, I'm keeping it mild, so I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of each. So again, 2 teaspoons of both cumin and chili powder. Just throw it right in there. And to mix it all up and add the extra broth, I'm going to add 1 can of low sodium diced tomatoes. Okay. So I'm adding that right to the peppers, the onions, the garlic, the spices. I'm going to mix that up a little bit. So I'm going to let that simmer for a second and we'll be right back.
Maybe I have with that?
Oh, thank you. Did you see anyone's broccoli?
You moved this?
Thanks for helping us.
No problem.
Is this your bird? You're welcome.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
So welcome back. We let our vegetables mix with the tomatoes for about 3 to 5 minutes. And I now have my pot and I'm ready to mix it all together. This is where you let the chili simmer to make all the flavors mix together. So for this pot, I'm going to add 14 ounces of vegetable broth. I like to use chicken broth if I'm using some sort of chicken or beef in the recipe, but since this one is vegan, we're going to go with the vegetable broth. So I want to measure it. It's just under 2 cups. Okay. And I'll put that right into the pot. The next thing we'll do is we'll add our tomato mixture, which again has been simmering, so you see it's mixed well with the spices and all the flavors. I'll add that right in. And last, I'm going to add the beans. Okay. So once all that is in, I give it a nice little stir. And I want to bring it up to a simmer, so I want to see little bubbles right at the top, and then I'll let it sit for 10 to 12 minutes. So we're going to let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes, and while that happens, we'll take a break, and we're going to talk about the 5 different ways we can change this recipe.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back. So, Julie, today's recipes were vegan, meaning there's no animal products used.
Yep. Yeah, so it's good for people who are avoiding eggs and dairy, or anyone that's following a vegan diet. So yeah, no animal products are used. So in my recipe, I used the flax egg, which replaces a regular egg. I used applesauce, which replaces oil, and it's also good to replace butter. And we also used soy milk, which replaces cow's milk.
Okay, and for my recipe, we didn't use any meat in the actual product. If you did have someone who enjoys a chili recipe with meat instead, you can put that in there, but it is heavy on the beans and the vegetables. And a lot of people like to put sour cream and cheese on their chili, and we didn't do that. We did, however, chop up some cilantro, which we can put on at the end.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So it looks like the chili's done. So why don't we take a break really quick and we'll just plate that up.
Okay, sounds good.
No more checks. Using WIC is easier than ever. WIC is a free nutrition program that helps working families stretch their food budget and make healthy choices. WIC helps families learn to shop for nutritious foods and provides recipes for healthy meals. There's even online nutrition education and an app to make shopping easier. WIC, good food, and a whole lot more. Call or visit us online to find out if you qualify.
All right, welcome back. So we're all ready to serve it up.
Ooh, good.
So you'll notice we made it to a nice thick consistency. The broth we used has mixed with all the vegetables and the beans. right, so here's one.
Looks good.
I'm excited. And it goes really well with the corn muffin.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can you put any other fruit in there?
Yeah, you could do blueberries. You could also use dried fruit in the muffin, or you could just omit it altogether if you just want plain corn, or jalapenos too. If you want it spicy.
Cilantro?
Yes, please.
All right, we'll try it.
So we're gonna try it.
Yep. Good.
Really
Thank
good.
you for joining us.
Thank you.
If you'd like to attend a Good Food Project cooking class, we offer them every Tuesday at 4 p.m. and every Friday at 3 p.m. at the Framingham WIC office. Thank you.
Rumble, something more than bread. A nice big steak and fries to go. Listen to what I said. I need something more than soup to keep me satisfied. Give me food, that's what I want. Bolognese.
No more checks. Using WIC is easier than ever. WIC is a free nutrition program that helps working families stretch their food budget and make healthy choices. WIC helps families learn to shop for nutritious foods and provides recipes for healthy meals. There's even online nutrition education and an app to make shopping easier. WIC, good food, and a whole lot more. Call or visit us online to find out if you qualify.